whole time. So we're going to redo this. Give me 10 seconds and we're going to start. Right, and straight off the bat, obviously this is my list, my opinion. If you do not share the opinion, you do not share the same opinion. But I believe that this is going to be one of the best rankings there is, because as I say, I do world records. I played zombies ever since World at War. So let's get straight in with it. At the bottom, in last place, we have Black Ops Cold War. I said it differently on the last time I did it when I didn't have the headset in it, but now doing it a second time, I'm going to give it to Black Ops Cold War. And the reason why I gave it second to last time was because of the outbreak mode, because the potential of it going forward. And I feel that actually, if we're rating it on the game itself, we can't give it a better rating for what that game mode may or may not do in the future. Now the reason it's bottom is because of how easy the game is. Go and sit in a corner with a ring of fire, like, it's pathetic. You might as well play split screen against yourself on FIFA. Give the controller to your nan and just say, look, just press these two buttons, and then when this lights up, and then press this button. If you aim here, you just have to press it, and it's going to get them all. You don't have to worry, like. And she lived for quite long, like, because it's stupid. But people love it, and the reason they love it is because it's free XP, and I don't think that treyach have realised that. They're looking at their numbers and they're seeing the numbers and they're thinking, okay, that's all right. But I think a lot of people aren't playing it because it's good. They're playing it because it's easy, and you're giving them like an easier way of leveling up and getting XP, and they might not be very good at multiplayer, and compared to their friends, and they can just go into this game and get ahead of their friends by standing in the corner and pressing R2. Nice. So yeah, there's many other problems. You can go and buy ammo. Where's the joy of over 15 bullets left and you get a max ammo? Rounds can go on for stupidly long. Who wants to play the game that long? Not many people. If you're one of the people that doesn't want to play the game that long, what's the point in playing at all? Because if you've only got an hour or two, you're not going to get to end the game. So what, keep repeating an Easter egg? What, the Easter eggs that Cold War are giving you, where you just, oh yeah, this is difficult. I'm struggling. As I say, I went into Firebase C 2 months after the map came out, after never playing it because of how disappointed I was in the game. I decided to go into a public game just for a laugh. Thought I'd try it, see what the map's like. Never been in it before. Paid for the game. Might as well, make the most of it. And yeah, Easter egg done. After like 30 minutes with random players. And it's just empty. It's just so empty. That's why they're last. Like, it's the newest game and they're in last place. Like, it's that bad. I know a lot of people might be playing it or whatever, but they're playing it for the wrong reasons. And soon that will come to pass, because if you're just going to make it that easy, who's going to want to bother? You don't go and spend 50 quid on a game and it comes up saying difficulty mode, easy, normal, medium, hard, insane, and you pick easy because you've just spent 50 quid on it. What's the point? What's the point in going on easy? That's no challenge. You've made a game where there's no challenge. Second to last then is Exo Zombies, purely because of it being Exo. I think a lot of people didn't like that either. But it beats Cold War just simply because it had the difficulty there. The difficulty was there. I didn't play a couple of the maps, I think, because as I said, I didn't like it. but it beats it. It beats it. And again, I think the main reason for it not being higher on the list is because of the exo ability. I think people don't like that. A lot of people don't like that, or majority don't like that in multiplayer or zombies. Next on the list is going to be I am going to say Call of Duty. Well, no. It's got to be World War Two. World War Two. The reason why that's so bad is because Infinite Warfare come out, and at the time, a lot of people didn't like it. I was into it a little bit, you know, like I was sort of like on the fence, I'd say. Um, I mean, I was on and off the fence pretty much the whole game of Infinite Warfare. But that being said, after Infinite Warfare, everyone was looking forward to World War Two so much. Like it was like every zombie player I knew was like, okay, I don't like Infinite Warfare, or there's not, you know, the hype for it or whatever. World War Two's coming soon, don't worry, blah 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 blah, you know. And it was exciting times, but it come out, the colours were dull. It was not like it just didn't feel right. Um, so I think that that's a perfect place for it, definitely. Um, sorry, just making a drink. What else? What else can I say about World at War? Yeah. So one of the I've got videos of this. One of the actually no. Mm, no, we're going to keep it there. But these two are very close together. Um, I used to go onto the darkest shore, and there's an Easter egg, not an Easter egg step there, where you'd have a door, 15 kills, and I used to lock people in there and get the revives. And it used to be funny as hell trapping people in there who couldn't do that step. Um, I've got videos of it on my channel with like 70 revives or something silly like that. It's so funny. It was so funny to do. But other than that, yeah, it just was just a bit dull. I didn't find it interesting. I think mainly as well what hurts these other zombie maps, these other zombie games that aren't Black Ops, is a lot of people are invested in the story. So when you're bringing something new forward to the table, you have to capture your audience and you have to make them care. And I just didn't care about Klaus or any of it. I just was like, okay, or the only thing I was interested in was the gameplay. Um, yeah, like maybe they should have like, I don't know, you know, file size or whatever, but maybe they should have like, you know, an episode or something that comes with it, you know, when it's released, so you can like watch and get to know these characters. That might be a smart idea. Like, don't just have it as a game, but before the map releases, you know, every time before you release a map, maybe release an animate, you know, you got an animated series of it or something, you know, um, or maybe after the map's released and the Easter egg's been completed, and like you get to see it, but you know what I mean, like differently. And that's just off the top of my head, just there and then. I just thought of that, you know. But I probably think of something better. But like something like that, you know, make them care. If you're going to make a new game, try and do something. What I mean here is my point is if you're going to make something new, then try and make people care about it. And it was just dull. Like it was hard to follow and take interest in it. It was just, and not because it was wrongly written, just because it was just like meh. Like, alright, whatever. Like, skip, come on, skip. Like, I just want to shoot some zombies, skip, don't care. Like, that happens in a Black Ops game, and you're like, oh, what's going on? You know, because you care. Um, so, yeah. And then a joint place, I'd say, is Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Blue screens, I've got loads of records where I've done world records, and it's blue screened. I've got one where second in the world. I'm 2 rounds away from having the number one. It might be different now. Someone might have beat that. Probably have because of all the new things added onto the game. I've just re-downloaded this when it become free. I already obviously had it, but other people have downloaded it, so I thought, well, I'll go back on here. Um, but yeah, 2 rounds off at the time, and now there's more things on there. I could get higher than what I did anyway, so it's obviously probably been beaten. But I weren't going to continue playing it. But the nail in the coffin was, um, what record was it that I did? I decided to go for the world record highest round on classified, but at the same time do the classified Easter egg. I never had no interest in doing it before because obviously the Easter egg had been released on YouTube. It was just a video. I'd obviously watched it. What's the point? You know, like I've got to go to round 115 to get this video. I don't have the lot of time as what I used to have when I used to play zombies when I was younger. Why do that? You know, it was sort of like, what's the point? But then one day I decided, oh well, look. I was obviously looking through the world records, and I noticed that on that particular record, and maybe even a lot more on Black Ops 4, a lot of it, like Blood of the Dead, for example, is another map where trap is very heavily used as a means to achieving a high round, and that's not zombies to me at all. Like, we're going back to this Cold War Ring of Fire malarkey there with that. It's not as bad, nowhere near, and I carried on playing because it was sort of like not everybody was doing that. I mean, a lot of people were, a lot of people were, but like not everybody was. But the top scorers on classified, what they were doing is they were using a trap. So I went in and I was getting all the kills, and I was going to go number one because it weren't far past 150 what the record was at the time. Again, at the time, I think I got to 84 or it might have been 94, and it blue screened on me, and I'd killed all the zombies. Like I had thousands, like I can't remember whether it was 16,000, 21,000, nearly 30,000. It was a lot. I had a lot of kills, and like I was well over halfway. 14 hours it was. I know that sounds like a long time for only, you know, around 84. But you when you're doing that and you're getting the kills, you've got to work hard for your rounds. It's not like you can just fly through a round. You've got to weave, and I never had no dance. Like it was hard. I was smashing it. I was on fire. I was in the flow. I had it. I had it because I hadn't gone down. I'm well over halfway. I've got. I think Black Ops 4 is easy for revives. It's got a few revives on there, I think, or you can have 2 or 3 revives. Like there's no way. Like I could have maybe done it without dying at all. There was no way I weren't going to do it. There was no way, like in my mind, I'd done it already. Like I'd done it because it was effortless. I had the right flow, the right strategy. Like and that's another thing about zombies is I always have strategies. I decide what's the best way to get through, cheapest way to do this, and I like to have everything planned. Even if I know I can achieve an Easter egg on round 20 or round 25, you know, like if I'm good enough to do so. I like to still get to that point as early as possible in a game, like not world record early, but just as early as I can, just because, you know, sufficient, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm over the top with it. I don't know. But I like to try. I always used to like to try and like. I always had strategies, you know. Um, and yeah, so Black Ops 4 goes there. I mean, it had a couple of interesting game modes. I liked the one where you picked up the yellow coins. Oh, what was it called? Ignore the level as I say. I stopped playing. Um, what am I looking for? Ah, Rush. Is it Rush? Rush. Yeah, I like these. I never played them a lot, but like I played them a bit. Like when it first come out. These are all from like when it first came out. I think I tried these a couple of times. That you'll see the score. Look, I never tried them. Look. Let's see. I tried these when they first came out a few times each in it. I don't think the scores are that great, um, but I had a few goes on it, and I thought it was interesting. It was different, and like again, maybe I could have thought of something better with it. You know, like 2 teams of 4, maybe, and maybe like I don't know, you know, like 2 different maps, even like like, and it was random each time, and like one of you could have been playing on here, one of you could have been, I don't know, like, or both playing on the same map, and like I don't know. There's so many different things they could have done with this, and it weren't bad as it was though. I will say that it weren't bad at all. It's probably one of their better ideas that they've made. These I didn't do. I think I tried once. Yeah, look, I tried once. I never did them. Weren't interested. Um, I think by that point, I thought might have been if they never killed my soul. If they never killed, like, this is the other thing where I've put Cold War at the bottom. This game could be very, very, very. Well, actually, no. What I said about Cold War is right, but the fact that I'm not playing it, like, even though it's crap and easy, normally I would still have the motivation to do something. Like, first round challenges are doable on Cold War because they're probably a lot longer now because you can buy ammo from a box, but um, it's something I would do. Where the high round sitting in a corner with Ring of Fire, I wouldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Um, so yeah, but with this game blue screening, it could have had an effect. This sort of killed my love for zombies. This game, that's Black Ops 4 are guilty of that. Like, they lost all they lost the whole. So it should be further down in the list really, but I'm going to base it on actually what the game was supposed to be. Because if you look at it now, and you go on here and you look at these titles, Blood of the Dead, the Mob of the Dead remake that everybody wanted for so long. A couple of these maps weren't bad. Ancient Evil was a decent one. Everybody loved this map. This sort of wasn't one that people loved as much, nor this. People at this point here were just like, wow, remakes. Classified is what it was. But yeah, again, it had a couple of big maps on it that were very loved. So if we look at this now, we can sort of say, yeah, okay, you can sort of see why it is put up there. And look at my completions, only 2. This is the other thing with the game. Look, this just goes to show I really didn't care about the game that much. Look, I didn't complete the Easter eggs a lot, and mainly because, yeah, just the blue screens. Like, I didn't want to do it. Look, it even says highest round 25. I've never really done anything with it. 84 was my round then. That is my. I think that's my starting room. 57 is my starting room. I think that's a starting room. See, this is the other thing. When you look at these scores, bear in mind when I say I do world records, I don't do highest round anymore. I used to go into the higher rounds, but I don't really have the time no more, and they make it so long-winded. This is the other problem with the game, and I've always said, like, I've probably got other complaining videos on here about zombies, and I've always said the same thing, like, no one wants to play for, like, you play the whole night and then leave your console on and come back to it tomorrow to attempt to try and beat. Like, it's so long, like. And then that's when I learnt about this world record site, and I saw that there were starting room challenges. So from this game is where I started doing starting rooms. I never did it on this. I think that's just the completion. But yeah, 57 starting room, 72 starting room, and obviously 84 was the EE run. I never tried on any of the. Actually, yeah, that's a starting room. That's a starting room. I only done that once, and that was quite high actually for starting room. That's not starting room. That is the Easter egg, and we got into it at round 18, and for some reason it just glitched, and we were in the boss fight for like 30 rounds. I didn't stream it, or did I? I either streamed it, or it was so crazy that I clipped it. I clipped me and the geezer talking about what had gone on, because we were in the boss fight for like 36 rounds, and we survived. And we were in, and if you know the boss fight on this one, like it can be a bit mad. And we were in it for 36 rounds, and for some reason Pegasus would just not do what it needed to do. It just wouldn't happen. We just couldn't get it to. It just wouldn't work. And it weren't that we were fucking up, because we know what we were doing. You know, we'd done it before. And yeah, it just wouldn't do it. And then boom, round 54, it just did it. I think one of us might have gone down, and I think that's what we were saying. One of us went down, and we revived, and then it triggered it. So it might have been one of us that was making the problem. But let's continue. Next up on the list is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and the reason why this beats it is because Infinite Ward had a nice little spin on a different on the game mode. It was. I didn't play past Attack of the Radioactive, and I didn't even do the Easter egg on Radioactive. At that point, they lost me. That's where they lost me. But Raven the Redwoods, the Skull Machines, like all of this stuff were brilliant ideas. They were absolutely brilliant. The Easter eggs on there with the teddy bears across the map. That could be, if there was a decent reward for that, right? Wow, what an Easter egg! Because it was difficult to know all the places, and sometimes even if you knew them, you'd not see it, and you'd mark that one off as not there, and it actually was. And you know, if you got to a point at the end where you checked all the places, you'd have to go back through and recheck them all again. You know, it was brilliant. I always had a weird Easter egg where the policeman, when you used a certain thing on him, the policeman zombie, his eyes would change colour. And I never got to find out what that was for, and I don't think anyone ever did. But I knew there was an Easter egg for that, and I tried to tweet about it. I never got no reply or anything, but I always thought that was an Easter egg, and I tried to do something with it, but never could. But yeah, the boss zombie was decent on it. There was interesting things all over the map. You had arcade machines to play on, like there was so many unique ideas, like that you can't put it below any of the other games, because they had the balls. Because you got to realise at this point, before this, all you've ever had is normal zombies, barring the Exo. So being able to have a different gravity is the only time where a company decided, right, we're going to make zombies, but we're going to make it different. We're going to put our own spin on this. So you can't not give credit, like a million credit, and then, you know, a million times after that, even more, for them to have their unique spin on it. Like that was a very gutsy move, and they didn't do a bad job at all. So a lot of people might think, why Infinite Warfare is so high, but again, before Infinite Warfare, there were only normal games of zombies, and I think what zombies needs now more than ever is something new and someone to take over it. And Infinite Ward having the balls to come out with a game mode that was completely different to all its predecessors, I think you've got to give credit for that. And although whether people didn't like it at the time, a lot of the things on it were interesting, and again, something different is never bad, and I've got to give it credit for that. But then we're left to the last two, and obviously the last two we've got left is, actually we've got three. We've got World at War, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 in the top three. And I would say the list will go, for me, and this is going to be different to everybody else's because this is not going to be a popular opinion, right? At all, at all. But I am going to go World at War third, Black Ops 3 second, and Black Ops 2 first. And no one's going to agree with me on this, and I already know it. You know, I play zombies enough to know. No one's going to agree with it. But I'm going to explain it, right? And the reason why is because Black Ops 2 enabled Black Ops 3 to exist. Black Ops 2 was the turning point for zombies, where they decided they were going to make it bigger. Before that, it was Kino, and you had a few maps on there where they gone and planted their ideas and thrown what they were going to do in the future for zombies. But Black Ops 2 was where they opened up so many possibilities, and it was like it become real. It become real what the game was going to be. And not only that, I liked the concept of being able to do two different Easter eggs in the game. You know, the Richtofen or the Maxis. That I don't know why that got lost. Like why that disappeared, because they could have evolved on that idea and made it even better. Maybe it could have been 4 different Easter eggs. Maybe they could have made it even, you know, the fact that you'd done this Easter egg in the first one, when you go into the second game, you'd have a, you know, like it could have been mad. And I think that idea got a bit lost, and it is very underrated or not talked about. Because that's what Cold War should be doing. The bottom zombie game of this list, Cold War, at the bottom, the newest zombie game, is at the bottom of this list. Every other zombie game beat it. Even Exo Zombies Advanced Warfare beat Cold War Zombies on my list. And the reason for that is just because it's so easy, and including the Easter eggs. And if they decided, oh, 1 minute, what we're going to do for Cold War is now we're going to make 2 Easter eggs. We're going to honour our players that have played this game all these years, and we're going to, if you do this first step like this, you're going to have this Easter egg. This is for new players. It's going to be a simpler, whatever. If you do the Easter egg and instead you do it the first step this way, that will then activate you down a separate path where you're going to have a completely different, harder Easter egg for our long-term players. And then people would have played it. You got the trophy for it either way. I wouldn't care if the other people had the trophy and they done easy mode. I wouldn't care at all. Maybe make it a different trophy, or make it the same trophy, but you get a calling card as well if you do the hard. Like, I don't know, but like I wouldn't even care about the calling card. But 2 different Easter eggs, you'd save Cold War. You'd save it, because it's as I say, going on to Firebase C after 2 months of not even trying it, watching any tutorial videos, and going into a public game and after 30 minutes having an Easter egg completion, like that's just not right. I should be going in there and screaming because I've got people throwing grenades on round 2, and like he's gone down, and like that person there's not like that's what I should be moaning about, and instead I'm moaning fucking that it's too easy. I miss that. I miss moaning at people about throwing grenades. You know. Um, I mean, I suppose you still do in Cold War, but if they're throwing grenades, it's probably not. It's probably all point system and that. Like you used to have to what? Shoot them 7 times, stab them to get the most points, and it's all tactical. It's so tactical. Like, and now it's just like, oh, don't worry about it. You've got no ammo. Buy it from the box. Oh, what? You need this? Doesn't matter. Oh, what? You're missing wonder weapons. Oh, we've got all these ones. Like, you've got various choices of wonder weapon now. You can have any one of these ones. Oh, that's not good enough. Oh, we're going to make these effects on our guns. You're going to have these abilities where you can stand in a corner and shoot zombies till round 400. Like, give it to your nan. You need to go AFK and make a sandwich. Give your controller to your nan. Tell her to press this button every couple of seconds, and you will come back to yourself standing, son. And that's just like, nah, mate. Come on. Come on. So, that's it. Done. That's our list done. Summarise, because I see someone's in there. I'll summarise because you missed it. Cold War bottom. Exo Zombies was next. I believe. Then when World War Two. then Black Ops 4, then Infinite Warfare, and I believe you were caught up from there. And I don't believe I missed anything. Yes. So, that is it. In my first list, because I've done this already once and I realised the mic was muted, Exo Zombies was at the bottom and Cold War was at the bottom, but the reason why Exo Zombies is higher is because at least there was some sort of difficulty to it. I didn't like it. Like, who wants the zombies jumping around? No one really does, you know. You don't really want them jumping around on the multiplayer either, which is why a lot of the games now boots the ground. But yeah, even though it was annoying, at least there was a like Easter egg where you had to actually, you know, try hard to do it, and it weren't just a case of you can guarantee you're going to get it done every game if you wanted to, you know. It's like playing split screen against yourself on FIFA, honestly, playing Cold War Zombies. Like, you can't really scream that you've scored a banger, can you? You know? But, like, that's it, innit? Like, it's meaningless. Like, you're having a conversation with someone. Oh, what's going on, mate? What are you doing? What are you saying? Oh, you've been playing zombies, yeah? Oh. He's like, yeah, I've got round 200. All right, okay. Want to jump with some Rocket League? It means nothing. Where if I'd done that in Black Ops 2 and I'm like, oh, look, I've streamed it, I've got to 200 on bloody. Uh, oh. My brain's just gone. I was just about to say a map. The favourite map as well. I can't think of the name. We're just going to say a different map. I've got to around 200 on Mob of the Dead, let's say. Yeah, not a Blood of the Dead because it's stupid with the traps. Like, people be like, oh, that's pretty good, like, you know? Nah, it's like everyone and their sisters got to around 200 on Cold War. It's really sad. Like, the only reason I made the video really is because I'm angry at it. I think because it is my favourite game. Yeah, there's, you know, my whole family always played Call of Duty, and a lot of them are multiplayer, and I was the one who spun off and went and played zombies. And I got to a point where I was doing world records and stuff with it, and it just was just. I used to enjoy it, like, even though it was only starting room challenges that I ended up doing. You know what I mean? To be able to get yourself to second in the world with a blue screen, one person in front of you, out of all the people that play the game, it's like it's good, you know. And they destroyed it. Like, and it's sad because the end result of it is, this is what I think, is it's fixing the problem short term for them because they're going to get people coming on their game, playing their game because it's easy, you know. But what they don't realise is a lot of the people playing it and the numbers that they're seeing are people that play multiplayer and are coming on the zombies to level up and get XP because it's so easy. They're not playing it because they enjoy it. And if all you're doing is looking at numbers to see how many people are jumping on your mode, you're not getting the story at all. You're getting what you've made. You're getting a mirage that you've made and put there yourself. And that mirage is the fact that the game's got life in it, and it doesn't. Because you do it again, you know, you might still keep these people that are trying to go on this, get the XP, but the new people that you've got come in that are actually interested in the game, they're gonna be like, yeah, no, this is ridiculous. This is too easy. Like, what's going on? The first one, if this is their first time playing zombies, they might be like, oh yeah, this is cool. But that's because their ability was at a low point. But they're gonna get better. And by that, if you're not going to make the game harder as they get better, then you're going to flop. Because these new people that you're aiming at are going to become me in a few years. They're not me now, but they will become me. And if you're not tailoring your game, knowingly knowing that these new players you're aiming at to get in are going to get better, thus the game's going to have to get harder, then you flopped. Because it's ridiculous how easy it is. And that is the end of my stream. And I think that is pretty decent. I think I've done pretty well. But everyone's going to want me to have put Black Ops 3 at the top of the list. And as I say, the only reason I didn't, Black Ops 3 did have some of the, it was insane. Black Ops 3 was insane. It probably is the best zombie game. But, as I say, Black Ops 2 was where zombies evolved. Black Ops 2 was where what made you want a Black Ops 3, basically. And as I say, it had some very unique things with the Easter eggs, and you think that Black Ops 3 is better, but maybe there was just more hype for it because of Black Ops 2. You think of some of the maps that are on Black Ops 2, your Burieds, any map, pick any map on there, pick any map on Black Ops 2 and talk to me about it, because to me their maps were thrilling. But yeah, that's it. But I mean, they could easily be joint first. They could easily be joint first. I'm not saying that I 100% think that Black Ops 2 is better than Black Ops 3, but on my list I put Black Ops 2 top because that is where I fell in love with the game the most. Before that, I played World at War and I liked it. I only got to play it a few times back then. It weren't really on my radar, and it weren't until Black Ops 2 came out that I realised how much I loved the mode. So that will always be top for me. But yeah, it's just sad, isn't it, really? Because I'm only 30, the games for what are meant to be 18 plus. So if they're saying they want to go for these new players, who are they aiming at? What, 18-year-olds? I think they know kids play these games, and I think that they tailor it towards the kids. It's an 18 plus game, I believe. Isn't it Call of Duty? I believe it is. Let me search this up. They know as well. And that's one of the reasons they've done what they've done. Call of Duty age. Call of Duty Cold War age rating. They know they've got 10 and 9-year-olds. Yeah, see? 17 plus. I mean, it says here on reviews, Cold War is bloody and there is swearing, but there is no reason for it to be 18 plus. The 14-year-old or a 13-year-old could play this. But that's even more reason for them to aim at these kids. But so technically they're wrong, because I mean they're right and they're wrong, because I also agree. There's nothing wrong with. I will say this: there's nothing wrong with younger people playing the game. But technically they are going against regulations, because they clearly know that it is supposed to be so many plus, but they are aiming the content at younger people. It's not 18 plus, because if it was, you wouldn't make it that easy. I'm sorry, but there's no geezer in my time I've ever met 18 plus who couldn't get past round 10, like how they say a high percentage of players couldn't. Round 30, I'd say round 30, round 35 might be average for players, in the old days. But yeah, they've definitely aimed this at youngsters, well below the 17 barrier. Just the difficulty level. There's just no way they haven't. So there's that to consider. But again, I don't think that it's wrong for them to have I don't think it's wrong for them to be able to do that. I don't think they should have done that, definitely not. But I don't think it's wrong for them to be able to do that. But it is against what it's supposed to be. You'd have to prove it that they've got aimed it at kids, which you couldn't do. But it's quite clear, I think, to a person that they've aimed this at youngsters, made it easy, And that's it. I'm going to stop there. But yeah, I just wanted to do one of these and touch up on it, because I've got the new map coming out on Cold War, and I was like, yeah, it's going to be crap. It's going to be absolutely crap. You know what the funnest part of it's going to be? It's going to be the first couple of days before the Easter egg gets figured out. Right? And as soon as Easter gets figured out, it's just going to be like, wow, is that all you've got to do? And then you're going to, I'll probably, um, I'll probably not do it. I'll probably be like, nah, I thought that's too easy. And then I'll do it like a couple of months down the line. But that is my list, all done and dusted. If you have watched it, I'm sure you disagree with a few things, so feel free to comment and tell me what you think. But we can all agree the game mode is dying at a terribly fast rate, and it's sad to see.